We have breaking news coming out of Japan. The CEO of SBI, Yoshitaka Kitao, and the United States Treasurer, Scott Bent, recently held discussions about Ripple and how Japan could help boost the U.S. economy through financial services. This is not a small meeting. You have the Treasurer of the United States and the head of SBI sitting together and talking openly about Ripple and XRP. This is a huge moment and it deserves attention. In this video, I will walk you through everything happening with Ripple and XRP in Japan because the information coming out right now is extremely important. Big thanks to Crypto Erie for gathering many of these updates. She has been one of the best sources covering Japan and XRP for years. During the discussion, XRP was highlighted as a major part of the conversation. Ripple Labs, which is the company behind XRP, has 9% owned directly by SBI. This is not a small number. According to Kitao, that is a massive advantage. Around the world, digital asset systems and new regulations are being built, and the United States is finally moving forward after the Genius Act was approved and signed into law by President Trump. This law brings investor protection, stronger enforcement tools, and clarity for digital assets, giving the U.S. a stronger position as it tries to maintain the global role of the U.S. dollar. Kitao explained that Japan wants to support the U.S. in more than just manufacturing. He said that Japanese companies are already signing huge agreements to invest in the United States and create jobs. But Japan can also help by moving financial liquidity into the US. Japan has over 2,300 trillion yen in consumer assets, and a large amount of that liquidity can be directed into the United States through financial services. He also explained that SBI is working through major joint ventures to help strengthen the US market. According to Kitao, it should not only be manufacturing that supports America, financial services should also play a role. Scott Bent understood this immediately because of his background in finance. He even praised SBI's involvement in Ripple, mentioning again that SBI owning 9% of Ripple Labs is a huge factor. SBI is also a cornerstone investor in Circle and supports technical development across multiple digital asset projects. Ripple, Circle, SBI, and other major players are building a shared financial future. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The United States recently took stakes in major American companies like Intel. What if the US eventually takes a stake in Ripple? When Scott Bent is in the United Kingdom for meetings, Ripple is there. When Scott Bent is in Japan, Ripple is being discussed. Everywhere he goes, Ripple enters the conversation. That is not a coincidence. Nobody is talking about Bitcoin. Nobody is talking about Ethereum. They keep talking about Ripple, XRP, and the future of financial services. This pattern is clear and impossible to ignore. Now let's look at the relationship between Ripple and SBI in Japan. Ripple and SBI have one of the strongest alliances between a blockchain company and a traditional financial institution. They share joint ventures, equity ownership, and real-world integrated products using XRP and stablecoins inside Japan's financial infrastructure. SBI is one of Ripple's biggest shareholders and also holds huge amounts of XRP. This gives them double exposure, which makes the alliance extremely powerful. The SBI Ripple Asia venture deploys Ripple's payment technology across Japan and other Asian countries, bringing instant cross-border transfers using XRP in banks and money service companies. SBI Remit uses XRP as a bridge currency for international transfers from Japan to places like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Kitao has pushed for institutional XRP use and clear regulations for crypto in Japan, making the country one of the most advanced in the world in this space. Japan is Ripple's most active market. More than half of all global on-demand liquidity transactions come from Japan. That means the XRP system is already working in real life every single day. Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD, which is backed by US assets, will be launched and distributed exclusively by SBI VC Trade in Japan starting in early 2025. Japan has strong stablecoin regulations already in place, which allows this launch to happen smoothly. The goal is to help banks and institutions use stablecoins safely for settlement and international trade. Ripple and SBI are also preparing yen-based stablecoin versions, and the Japanese regulators are reviewing proposals for more stablecoins tied to the yen. New industry updates suggest that Japanese banks may adopt XRP for payments by the end of 2025. Ripple is creating a full global stablecoin network on the XRP ledger. There will be RLUSD, RLYEN, RLEU, RLCNY, RLGBP, RLB, RL, RLCHF, and many others as different countries join the system. As this network grows, more and more value will move through the XRP ledger, and XRP will be needed to bridge different currencies. Japan's financial community is aware of how strong SBI's position is. They own 9% of Ripple and hold massive amounts of XRP. Stockholders do not want SBI to sell their XRP because their own stock prices would fall. They want more XRP, not less. Headlines have already claimed that every bank in Japan could use XRP by 2025. Whether all banks end up using it or not, Ripple's technology will absolutely be offered as an option. Even if some of the early claims were a bit hyped, adoption is clearly moving forward. At a recent fintech summit, Japan's digital minister, who met with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse in Tokyo, confirmed Japan's commitment to advancing blockchain and digital asset technology. Ripple executives held meetings with SBI and other Japanese officials, further showing how deep this cooperation goes. One of the upcoming projects discussed in their meetings is called Project PAX, involving multiple partners including Frogmat, DataChain, and Toki. There is even more happening behind the scenes. SBI, Ripple, Chris Larsson, institutional investors, and major crypto exchanges are all working together on new platforms and investment strategies. Japan and XDC also have strong collaborations, showing how wide this network has become. Banks in Japan are preparing to use Ripple's technology for domestic and international transfers. A consortium of over 50 Japanese banks is already creating a new payment system using Ripple's technology to replace the current domestic system, and it can also be used for international transfers. These banks represent a massive portion of Japan's financial system. Photos from meetings show Brad Garlinghouse, Monica Long, and the SBI leadership standing together, confirming the strength of this partnership. And as all of this happens, XRP liquidity on exchanges continues to shrink. More XRP is being bought by institutions, and less is left on the open market. Only around 3 billion XRP remains on exchanges and OTC desks. Once that supply is gone, the price dynamics could change forever. Many believe that moment could be life-changing for long-term holders. If you found value in this update, feel free to like the video, leave a comment, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support means everything. I'll see you in the next one.